Hi guys, this is Eileen Asher. I'm the host of Artists with Anxiety, and I'm here with a longtime friend and partner of mine in business and in art as well. So this is Brittni Tiefenthal.
Hello.
She is the owner and founder of Deep Valley Crafts.
Deep Crafts.
I'm really looking at the sign in the other direction.
It's fine.
I was like, well,
it's okay.
All right. Anyway, so yes, speaking of all the mistakes that you've already seen, I mentioned in the very first video that this video series is going to be very raw and real, mostly because I don't like video editing, but nothing in business as an art is perfect, so this is kind of also dual purpose that any Instagram social media stuff that you may see either from me or from Brittni or from any other business owner or artist at all, there's so much more that goes behind the scenes into posting, into making a video, into artwork, so there's no such thing as no mistakes. So this is going to be about as real and raw as possible, so you're going to have to bear with the both of us. So like I said, this is Brittni from Deep Valley Crafts, and she's, like I said, a longtime friend of mine, but so I wanted to talk with her about some of her experiences with not only owning a business, but with her all of her creative abilities and some of the struggles that she deals with any mental illness that she might have. So we'll start with kind of the basics of, the dreaded question of tell me about yourself, and
amazing
about every interview question available is always wonderful.
Yes.
But and then tell me about your business, how you kind of came to embrace and love embroidery, and what got you the push to even start your own business.
All right. Well, that's a big question.
Multifaceted, A, B, and C.
It's fine. I need to take notes on the question. So I've always been creative, and I kind of I didn't have a direction for a long time. I just did a whole bunch of stuff, which was fun, but also I felt not very productive. Like I wasn't accomplishing a lot because I was doing so many different things. So probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6, I started doing embroidery. That's what I do, embroidery. Did we establish that? I don't think we established that.
We have now.
I do hand embroidery things. So I started that probably about 6 years ago, as actually a way to manage anxiety. So that's what I've got is crippling anxiety.
Yay.
Hooray. So I started embroidery because it's like methodical and meditative, and you can sit and do a piece just quietly by yourself, and you feel productive at the end because you've made this thing that took a long time and you should be proud of, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of concentration, but it's like calming, and you can just think about what you're working on. You don't have to worry about anything else for a while. So that's why I started doing it originally, is to manage my anxiety. And then I had so much anxiety. I had so many things that I had made. I decided to start selling them. So I could partially buy more supplies and partially because once I'm done with the piece, I'm kind of done with it. Like, it served its purpose. So I don't really want it anymore usually. So I started selling them, and it went okay. I started on Etsy, and I'm still on Etsy, which is good.
Are you still Deep Valley Crafts on Etsy too?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
So Deep Valley my last name is Tiefenthal, and that means Deep Valley in German. So that's how I arrived at that name. And that kind of took the pressure off of naming myself, because it's just my name.
Yeah, it works. It's easy.
It's just my name. I don't have to come up with something potentially like silly and not real, so it kind of was like, even that was affected by my anxiety.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into branding than people realize. It's exhausting.
Yeah. So what was the rest of the question?
So, well, you addressed going into the business aspect, and then you talked a little bit about your anxiety. So what kind of like struggles do you deal with not only producing the artwork, and it's a passion of yours obviously, but I mean it probably still causes you a lot of stress, and then even learning some of the being a businesswoman too on top of it. So what kind of things do you struggle with as a business owner and as an artist?
So as an artist, I definitely struggle with doubting myself, doubting my abilities, doubting my worth. And that's been a big struggle for me as a business owner as well, because like, I look at a thing that I made and I'm like, man, like that's not worth $12. Like that, come on, I just made that, like come on. So, but like I really need to value my work because everything I do takes so much time and so much effort and so much energy. And even though it's a way for me to cope with my anxiety, like I need to realize that it's worth something also.
Yeah.
So, I struggle with that all the time, just like getting my prices to where they need to be to reflect the amount of work that I put into a piece. So personally, it's definitely doubt. And then, you know, like when someone approaches you with a custom order and they see your work, they've seen your shop, they know what you do, you've discussed it with them, like what you're able to do in their custom order, but then when you sit down to work on it, you're like, I can't do this, why are they paying me for this, I have no, like, I'm not qualified enough for this. It's like, just getting over that, like, I can do it, I've done it before, I keep, like, you know, like, I'm working on projects every day, it's not a crazy new thing that I have to learn, like, I know how to do it, I know I can do it. So getting over that personally is probably one of the harder things.
I mean, yeah, selling yourself, especially like when having to tell other people how great you are, and then if you're me and you're an introvert, you're like, no, I'm not that good, I'm not that great, and like, no, I have a degree in this, I studied
I know
this,
what I'm doing.
I've dedicated a significant amount of time, so I'm good at this, and it takes there's almost like a leap to get there.
Oh, yeah.
And you do it every time when you meet a new person.
I know, and that's actually, so when I started this business, I was only selling stuff online, and that was really hard because you don't get the amount of feedback that you do in person. So I barely got any feedback, honestly, to start with. People don't usually leave good reviews. Yeah. It's like, unless they had a really great experience, or like they really love the thing, or they had a bad experience, that's when you get reviews. So it was really hard for me to like validate my effort when I first started, especially trying to start a new shop online. Like, it's really hard to establish yourself with no reviews. How do you get reviews with no reviews? Because no one buys things without review, you know? Yeah. So that was really, really hard. But now I've got a reputation on Etsy. I've got a solid amount of reviews, and people trust my product. So once I got
definitely bought from you a couple times. So
yeah, so word of mouth. But after Etsy was established, I wanted to keep trying to push myself, especially just to grow my business. So that's when I started doing in-person shows.
Okay, yeah.
So craft shows, that was like my big, like, you're gonna do it. You gotta do it. You can do it. It's fine. Everything will be fine. Just go and do it. Just talk to the people. Pretend like you're selling someone else's work, and then it's fine. You don't have to pretend like you're accountable, because, like, man, it's not yours. I didn't make it.
That's actually kind of a good thought, like, to take that step back, and you're not actually selling your own work. It's somebody else's.
You're doing somebody a favor to sell their stuff for them.
That's actually a pretty, like,
that's
almost
how
like
I got through my that's how I got through my first couple shows.
Oh, wow.
Because it's really hard to be like, I made this, I'm asking you to pay me $35 for it. It's really hard in your head to get over that. Like, oh, they're just coming up and, like, thinking I'm crazy for trying to sell this for $35. Like, that's a really hard, like, thing to work through. So that's how I did it, is just pretend like it wasn't mine.
This product took this amount of time to do, and that's actually kind of a fantastic coping mechanism, too.
That, pretending it's not mine, and then just giving out crazy amounts of compliments. People love compliments. It draws them in. It gets them talking. It starts you off on the right foot with a person, so it's easier to continue the conversation later, like after you've said, oh my gosh, your shirt is amazing. Like, don't give disingenuous compliments, because people know, but, like, at art shows, people always, like, look cute and pretty up, and, like, oh my gosh, did you get those earrings here? Like, maybe they did.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was, like, the easiest way for me to pretend like I wasn't freaking out the whole time.
So how many have you done so far of those shows?
Well, the first one I did was 3 years ago in December. I've probably done about 10.
Oh, wow.
Maybe. Probably about 10.
Does it get any easier putting yourself out there each time, or is it starting from square one?
Definitely. Well, it gets easier for me. It got easier for me. My first show, I took off like 2 days from work. I used PTO so I could come home and get everything ready. Like, I was neurotically getting ready. Like, everything had to be perfect. Nobody could touch any of my stuff. Like, I wasn't gonna give, like, nobody. I loaded my own car. Jake had no part in it. I was like, I have to. Jake, my fiance. I handled every single thing myself. I went over everything. I had like 30 lists of shit like that I needed to remember to bring. I think I had 3 external battery packs for that show.
Oh yeah.
In case I was just
that.
overly prepared. Which was fine. That allowed me to go and be confident enough to stand there and sell my work to people.
Mm-hmm.
But my most recent show was a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
I
remember you posting about it. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago, and it gets easier every single time. I didn't, obviously this time, well, not obviously to them, but I was moving at the same time I had that show. So, of course, I couldn't plan everything out like I had the first show. I couldn't get everything ready. I didn't even know where half of my stuff was. But it was okay, because I knew I could do it, because I'd done it before. So it definitely got easier. Definitely less lists involved now.
I know repetition has definitely helped me, for sure. And even if I can prepare, I always feel better when I prepare. Like, even if it's over-preparing, and then when I get there, even if I feel like I'm winging it, I just don't feel as awkward winging it, because I've memorized my script, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
your
then
phone script, I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I do the same thing. Well, that's why I say give compliments to people, because it's kind of a script. You remember, you give a compliment, and then you say, here's my little 10-word spiel about what I sell.
Yeah.
Like, that's your script as you're selling stuff in person. So, like, you have to go with what they say, but, like, you can start it like that, and then it's not just every time you're like, okay, a new person, what do I say? Okay, a new person. Like, you know what to say. You've got, like, your little idea in your head of what to say. So that's definitely the repetition. Especially talking to, 100, 300 people all day.
That would do it.
That's a lot of repetition. You learn real quick what works and what doesn't. But also, like, getting feedback on my work in person. Like I said, Etsy didn't really have a good system for that, unless they purchased something and left a good review.
Right.
But in person, you can really see, like, what catches people's eyes, like, what do they like, what do they appreciate, because they'll tell you. They come, they're like, that's cool, or, I want to buy that thing that you marked for $35, and I think it's worth it,
Oh, yeah.
So it's, like, doing those shows in person made it, honestly, like, it was a hurdle to go to the first, like, 3 or 4, but it was worth it in the long run, because now I know that it's worth it. Yeah. I know that I can make back what that table cost me. I know that people want to buy what I make. So it was those shows, I think, more than anything, as scary as they were, I think more than anything, those helped me grow as an artist and a salesperson.
That's fantastic. I mean, I can definitely see you've grown so much just in the past couple of years from what you started with to you got this whole enterprise now. And hopefully I'll post videos of, like, the studio later, but you guys have no idea how adorable this studio is.
It's my favorite.
Which is a fantastic transition, because you have been dealing with a whole lot of, like, good things, but stressful things. And you took a little bit of a hiatus from, like, social media and posting, despite, I mean, you thrive on social media just because businesses kind of have to now.
Yeah,
that's where it is. I feel like you've gotten a good amount of referrals and traffic from Instagram. So you kind of talked about it in a post about you taking a break, you taking a step back. So tell me kind of what was, like, the tipping point of why you needed to take a step back, and kind of how you battled through all of that and then came back with guns a-blazing, basically.
So I've taken a couple different hiati.
I have no idea.
I've taken numerous things of those natures from social media, and it's partially because things get so crazy in my life. Like, I just, like, moving even is just one extra thing that you really have to worry about, and takes over your brain, and you can't also think about social media. And partially it's because I beat myself up so much. My background's in, like, marketing, writing, and creative writing, and I worked as what was my title? I guess I didn't really have one at IMS for Jill. Oh. I guess I was a marketing copywriter there.
I was like, I keep forgetting you had that job, to be honestly.
That was a tricky one. But I was a marketing copywriter there, and I was in charge of social media, so I know exactly how much to post, I know when to post, I know what I should be posting, I know who, like, I know what I should be doing, but it's really hard to follow that as an individual who owns a business. Yeah. It's hard to do what I know I need to do as a person, because it takes a lot of work, it's a lot of time, and I have a full-time job. So it's hard to, create all that content, it's hard to write all those, notes on pictures, and it's hard to go in and like shit every day of other stuff every day from other people's stuff, and like it's a lot of work just for social media. So sometimes like I find myself like just getting so overwhelmed about what I think that I need to do that I just don't do anything.
Yep. And I'm totally guilty of that.
Yeah,
oh my god.
You just you're like, oh man, like look at all these things I need to, like here's a list of 1,000 things that I should be doing in the next 5 minutes. So then you sit on the couch for 3 hours on your phone.
Yeah, it's
and do none of it.
That John Mulaney quote, and then I didn't.
Yeah. And then I didn't. Yeah. So you sit on the couch and watch John Mulaney for 3 hours instead of doing what you need to do.
Oh yeah.
So like when I've been trying to be better about recognizing that in myself. Because it's like the whole time you're sitting on the couch, like, man, I gotta do this, and I can't do anything else until I do that, so I'm just gonna do nothing instead. So I'm trying to recognize when that happens, and be like, okay, how can I cope with all of this?
Yes.
How can I arrange my life right now so that I can actually do anything instead of nothing? And a lot of times that means taking a step back from social media because it's so demanding, and it's hard. Social media is hard for me because embroidery is so slow. I don't have new content every day. I don't have a new project every day to show you. You know, so it's like, you know, you can do works in progress and you can do like behind the scenes whatever, but you run out of that stuff real quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because this is so slow. Like, you know, 3 hours progress doesn't look like very much. So that's really stressful when I'm like, oh, like I need to find 3 things to post right now, and like I have nothing.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes just better just to take a break, like just be like, hey, I'm, you know, going on hiatus. I'm still here. I'm still looking at Instagram every day. Just, you know, send me a message if you want something, whatever. But I'm not going to be posting for a while because it freaks me out.
Yes. And
yeah.
Totally okay to take a step back and and you need the whole self-care thing.
Yeah.
Like you need to take care of yourself first and foremost because you can't be productive if you can't take care of yourself. You gotta sleep, you gotta eat, you gotta take your meds, you gotta shower.
Right.
Please shower.
Please.
Artists, please shower.
It's
We're
okay.
begging.
Yeah, but then it's like you come back and you have the energy to be like, oh man, I'm gonna make 3 things today. I'm gonna post about, you know, whatever, because you came up with ideas while you didn't have to post. Because you allowed yourself to like calm down and relax and start thinking about it again. So it's definitely it's not a good business practice, but it's a good person practice, because otherwise you fail no matter what you try. If you know you can't handle everything you're trying to take on, you're gonna fail at all of it. Yeah,
definitely having a specialization I know has helped me, because I can't even pretend like I can do everything anymore. I will tell my clients I can do like 3 things. I can do 3 things really good, and if you want me to do something else, then you're not gonna get what you want, and I'm gonna be stressed out. You're gonna be stressed out.
It's not worth it at that point.
Yeah, I can do these things, and that's it. I won't. I've
definitely got custom orders. They're like, hey, can you do this thing? And I'm like, I probably can't. Like, I probably can't do that for you. I can try, but I probably can't do it. And it's knowing that limitation, like, and saying it up front, like, hey, like, I appreciate you coming to me. I'll give it a go, but like, we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see what we get when I'm done. So it's setting those expectations is really important.
Yeah, for sure. That's all the questions I had. Did you have any other advice for either not necessarily artists or embroiderers in particular, but creatives, or any career advice kind of thing, or even mental illness advice? Because we are not therapists by any stretch. Please, please seek help if you need it. I've already talked about that little disclaimer. But any advice before we go?
Well, right now I guess I'm kind of in a transition for what I'm making, because I took a look at, like I said, I started embroidery to manage anxiety, and I took a look at how that was still working, and it's not. So I was like, okay, so where did it change during the process of being in business? Like, where did that change to become feeling like more work and stress rather than stress relief? And I figured out it's actually because I've been putting so much focus on just producing quantities of stuff. Because you have to, when you're doing shows, you have to stock up, you have to have a full table. And I don't like that. I don't like making a whole bunch of the same thing. So, like, I evaluated what I was doing. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to focus on spending more time on each piece and really enjoying the process again instead of just, like, whipping stuff out so I can sell it.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess my advice would be, like, really evaluate in every step of what you're doing whether or not it's still beneficial, because things change. Like, I changed. I've gone through a whole bunch since I started this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start it with the intention of, you know, bettering yourself or managing your anxiety like me, like, you need to continue, you need to remember that goal and continue evaluating as you go.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise it's just going to be another stressor. Like, it was like the couple weeks before a show, I'm always so crazy, like, frazzled because I, like, look at what I have and I'm like, this is not enough. But 2 weeks isn't that much time in terms of embroidery. So, like, I took a look at how I felt. That's important.
Yeah, you need to make sure that it's worth it and it's not, you know, killing you.
Right.
Either.
Yeah. So definitely paying attention to how you feel during all steps in the process is important.
Yes, evaluation is absolutely a big thing for sure. So, real quick recap.
Mm-hmm.
What's your social media handles, all that fun stuff? Are you doing another show anytime soon, or?
I've got a show in December. I don't know if I'm gonna do it because I'm getting married in September.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then after, in the end of December, I'm going on the honeymoon. So I don't know if I'll have enough time in between all that stuff, or want to, because you know, weddings are stressful. I'm gonna be tired.
Yeah.
So I might not go to that one. I don't have any other, like, fall or anything shows lined up yet, but we'll see.
But check you out on Instagram. And
check me
Etsy.
on Instagram. Handles Deep Valley Crafts. I'm on Etsy, Instagram. I think I have a Facebook, but I hate it.
I believe you do. You at least have a website, right?
Yeah, I have a website.
I will include links in descriptions in this video, so don't worry. I will tag the hell out of her, so don't worry about it. You will see. You will see all the amazing work. Actually, I just noticed you've got a pin on your lovely. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, definitely most active on Instagram though. That's my favorite.
I am partial to Instagram as well, so perfect. All right. Well, thank you so very much for being my guest, and I will probably be at your house again because, yeah. And this studio is still so cute. I can't get over it.
I don't even have to be here. Just hang out in the studio.
Yeah, this is studio goals, guys. You have no idea.
You'll see.
All right. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in. I have a couple really awesome artists coming up the next couple weeks. So please stay tuned, check those out, and thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. Please like, subscribe, share, whatever you got to do, get the message out, because we artists are kind of self-centering a little bit, so we like to
share the struggle.
Yeah, share the struggle, please. And if you have any, if you're dealing with anything in particular, please don't hesitate to reach out to friends, family, somebody that you feel comfortable talking to these things about, even if it's your doctor, to a licensed professional, to your therapist, whatever. Don't be afraid to reach out and make sure that you take care of yourself in the process. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye.